Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Eric with American Business Systems. Welcome you to another webinar this week. I hope that those that were on the webinar from last week, that you enjoyed your time with Dr. Vicki Rackner. If you have not listened to Dr. Rackner's webinar from last week, you're absolutely going to want to go back and listen to that. So I know that we're starting just a little bit early. It is really about quarter till 4 here. Well, in 15 seconds. About one more minute, we're about to get officially started. So I see some folks coming in. Charlie, it's good to see you. Mark, Mike, Rick, Cornelius, good to see everybody here so far. It's a great afternoon to spend together, learn a little bit about American business systems, talk a little bit about what business can see an ROI in less than a year. We're going to kind of go through some stats here in the beginning. So hopefully you're going to enjoy that. It's right at 4 o'clock. So again, let me introduce myself. My name is Eric Auger. I'll be your host this afternoon. I welcome you here to our Wednesday webinar. Today's topic is going to be what business can see an ROI in less than a year. We're going to go through some of that. We're going to go through a little introduction here in the beginning, just so that everybody that's brand new can learn a little bit about American business systems. And let's see if there's anybody else that's joined us. Kendrick joined us there. So it's good to see you, sir. I got some more folks that I can see that are coming in, but for those that are here on time and for those that know about how we're going to do things, we're going to go through this webinar. It's going to take us about 30, maybe 40 minutes long. We're trying to condense this time so that when we put it up on YouTube, somebody's not sitting there for a full hour, which means is, and I'm going to hold all questions towards the end of the webinar, so that when we get down to the bottom of all the different slides here, we'll kind of sign off for those that would be on the YouTube channel. Then we'll pick up and I'm going to go through all of your questions at the end so that we make sure that you that are here live can make sure your questions get answered. So again, we got some more folks that have come in here. It looks like Brian's here now. Manar, good to see you. Got some other folks. Rick just came in there. Billy, good to see you. All right. So again, let's get started here. So today's topic is what business can see an ROI in less than a year. That's what we're going to be dealing with. But there's a couple of housekeeping things I want to kind of go through, give a little bit of history about American business systems, and we'll get this thing started. So make sure that everybody knows where the Q&A box here. I'm going to show it to you right there. Just go type something over there. What I typically like for you to do is just type in, just tell me where you're calling in from today. If you're calling in from California, from North Carolina, Florida, Texas, wherever you might be, let me know where you're calling in from. I like to find out where everybody's located. And again, that gives you an opportunity to know where the question and answer box is. As we kind of go through this, you'll be able to type in your question. So first one that comes up is Christina. She is from Texas. Got Mark from Utah. Good to see you, sir. Minar from San Francisco. So we've got the Midwest and all the way to the West taken care of. Rick's from California. Mike is in Indiana. Good to see everybody this afternoon. I appreciate you, everybody that's kind of typed in there, said something. Again, my name's Eric Auger. A little bit about American business systems. It's been around for over 30 years. And I say over 30 years because this family right here, the Patrick Phillips family, actually started American business systems way before 30 years ago. It actually had its genesis before then. It became a business opportunity a little over 30 years ago, but the business of medical billing started 35, 40 years ago because Linda here that you can see here is a young lady, was asked to do some medical billing for a durable medical equipment company, and which is, potty chairs and hospital beds and stuff like that, wheelchairs, stuff like that. And the guy said, my biller quit on me and I need someone to file these claims. Well, she didn't know anything about filing medical claims, but they learned how to do that pretty quickly. They were doing it on a typewriter, and their business kind of grew because they found out that they were doing billing. They ended up billing for a doctor, then another doctor. And then obviously people were asking, well, Patrick and Linda, how are you doing this? And so American Business started up. And these are the type of people that says, look, instead of just, and these such giving folks there, they said, instead of just of us trying to make all this money and give it to friends and family and buy cars for them and stuff like that. Let's just teach them what we're doing. And that's what they did. And this is how this whole business started, as a business opportunity. And that's what it is today. It's not been a franchise, will never be a franchise, because what we want you to do here at American Business Systems is to keep all the money that's owed to you. That's why we have just a one-time investment. We're going to talk about that today. And because we're talking about your return on investment. So we're going to talk about that. But recently, Patrick has turned the reins over to Adam. Adam is now our CEO. Adam runs this company, doing a great job of adding more things to the packet as we grow here at American Business System, beefing up support, beefing up how we help you get your first client. Because folks, that's how we stay in business. We stay in business when you're in business, and we may share a little bit about that as we kind of go through this. But he's written books. He also actually co-authored a book with Dr. Vicki Rackner, 9 Ways Doctors Let Money Slip Through Their Fingers. You'll find out that this is actually one of your marketing tools that you'll be able to utilize. But he's also written another article that I think you ought to get a hold of. So for those that are on the webinar today, and actually if you're listening to it on the recording through YouTube, get back with your sales rep and ask for Adam's most recent article that he put in the Billing and Coding Advantage magazine on, will the advancement of artificial intelligence take over my job as a medical biller or coder, it says there. We've got a PDF of it. You don't have to buy the whole magazine. We'll get that to you. You ought to read it because that's part of your decision making, because I know some of you might be asking that question. But Adam has also started an organization called MIRMA. MIRMA stands for the Medical Revenue Management Association of America. This is the organization that you'll be a part of once you've completed all of your training, because it's MIRMA who will certify you as a certified medical revenue manager. Well, the MIRMA organization is whom you'll be able to tell your doctor immediately after you get through the training that I'm a part of one of the largest, or the largest independent group of medical billers in the United States, which is the MIRMA organization. And yes, there's a website that you can go out there and check us out. We do a lot of stuff through MIRMA, and so you want to find out a little bit about that. So that's a little bit of an introduction. I want to get started on our topic, because remember, folks, we try to keep this one about 30, maybe to 40 minutes long in our topic session. But I wanted to just dive into this thing here on, what does it mean to get your ROI? What is an ROI? We'll kind of go through some of that. I'm clearing out some of if you see me looking to the side, I'm kind of clearing out some of this stuff, some of these answers here. I think I left that one there with Mike in Indiana. So we got Kendrick from Atlanta, Georgia. So folks, we're coast to coast. We got folks in California, folks in Texas, Indiana, up the Midwest. We got Kendrick out there in Georgia. Looks like we've got Christine out in North Carolina, and Cornelius out in Georgia as well. So we're good. We've kind of got all of this. And Charlie from India so we're international. So that's even better. So this is pretty cool. All right. So thank you for everybody that's typed in here. And again, part of my thank you for that. Go get Adam's PDF copy of that article. Just ask your sales rep about that, and they're going to get that to you. All right. So here's one of the things I want to start off the webinar with today. Let's first of all talk about, is there a market for medical billing? Let's just start there, because it doesn't matter what kind of ROI that I can talk you through. The only way you're going to make sure that you get an ROI is there the opportunity out there to get an ROI? Are there enough doctors out there for me to do billing? That's a question we've had out there. All right, so let's first of all talk about this. We talked about it in the past, but I want you to understand here, and you'll see here in the slide deck, I've got down there at the very bottom of that a website. So you can go to these websites and you can go check this out. So when we talk about medical billing, the technical term of that is what's called revenue cycle management. And there's many organizations out there that do forecasting and trying to figure out where a market's going, okay? So if we can see here, revenue cycle management market is expected to reach $329 billion by 2030. Now, that's 6 more years away, really about 5.5 more years away. So that's a lot of growth. And the growing is growing at this what's called CAGR, which is an a combined annual growth rate of 12%, a little almost 13%. Now, folks, if you'll go do your financials out there in any market that you're trying to get into, if anybody's got a kind of this continual annual growth rate in a year's time above 3 to 4 to 5%, that's great. But we're talking double digits of that. So when we're talking about, is there opportunities out there for you in revenue cycle management? We believe that there are. Okay, so you can see here real quickly, and I'm just going to, I wanted to say right there. So you can see in this article, it talks about the revenue cycle management market size was valued at 97 billion in 2020, and is projected to reach 329 billion by 2030. Again, registering that CAGR, which is what short for annual growth rate of 12.7%. Okay, you can see all that. You can read all that. Again, I've got everything you want to try to research that's out there. Now, I did run across something fairly new. There's an organization out there called Encoda, and they just did the 3 trends impacting claims and denial management in 2024. Now, for some of you, that already maybe makes some sense, but if you don't know what claims and denial management's all about, let me share with you real quickly. As medical billers, as revenue cycle managers, what we're doing, we're taking claims, we're getting the processing these claims, and we're shipping it off to the insurance companies, right? Along the way, those claims can get denied as we kind of go through that. And so what you're going to find out here, this next little session I'm talking about, is why are doctors losing so much money? Well, the reason they're losing so much money is because their denial rates are so high. Okay, so you can see here, there's an article I pulled off just earlier today to share with you. There are 3 trends impacting claims and denial management. I'm not going to go through those 3 claims. I don't have time to go through that. But I wanted to show you, it says here, a recent Change Healthcare. So Change Healthcare is an organization out there, and I'm going to show you some of their stats that they have out there. And you can go research that. You can go find it yourself. It says a study found almost 86% of denials are potentially avoidable, while 65% of cases, providers don't resubmit denied claims. Folks, let that sink in just for a second. Everybody on this call today is so concerned. Don't doctors already have medical billers in their office? They do. And guess what? Their denial rates are high. And guess what? If a claim comes back denied, their stats show that only 65% of those cases, those providers never resubmit those denied claims. Now, folks, please let that sink in, because you've been asking yourself, is this a viable business to be in? Okay? And you're wondering, is this a market that I should be in? I just showed you the stats there. This is not from American Business System, so it's not like we're cooking up the numbers. These organizations out there that set these numbers are much bigger than ABS. So let's go to what Change says. You can see here denials through revenue cycle management. Where did these denials come from? What's happening? Folks, if you look at the top thing there, the biggest things that cause denials in a claim is at the very beginning. So if you can read that, I want you to type that over in the Q&A box. What is the #1 thing that causes denials? Type them in for me. Let's be interactive here. I know I said to wait on, asking questions, but type in your question and answer box. What do you see as the highest thing that causes denials in revenue cycle? Yes, at the registering a patient and eligibility. Well, folks, you would think that's the easiest thing. It is the registration and the checking insurance eligibility. When you walk into that doctor's office, folks, that's the easiest thing that we accomplish. We can take a doctor's denial rates that are in the 8, 9, 15% range and reduce that by 2% just putting them on our billing platform, because our billing platform will actually help with the registration and check insurance eligibility before that patient is ever seen by the doctor, and it's done automatically. So here's where I'm going to pause for a second. I want you to get back with your sales rep and ask them to take you through a demonstration of our iClaim software, because that top number one thing there that causes denials and the doctor's not getting paid is because of registration and insurance eligibility. Okay. Where do errors occur? Again, you see on this is not coming from American Business. It's coming from Change Healthcare. These are the stats that they've collected throughout the United States. On the front end, 41% of denials, 22% of that is coming from registration and eligibility, insurance eligibility. They're not checking insurances, or they're typing the insurance information in wrong into their system. Off by a digit, off by a letter. That's what happens. Authorization and pre-authorizations, that's 13%. And services not covered, 6%. 41%. Then other things happen on the back end, 34%. Somewhere in the mid-cycle, 17%. And then there's just really the unknown. Now, we live in the unknown because literally our rejection rates are less than 2, maybe 3%. But all these other things that we're talking about here in those other categories, those are all taken care of by our system. Providers can take charge. You can see here, just another graphic from them. Overall avoidable claims that because of denials. So you take the 31% and you see the 51% that is situational avoidable. That's 82%, folks. So I don't want you leaving today's webinar scratching your head going, gosh, is there a market for me out there in this world of billing? Are doctors really losing money? Listen, they're losing money, and I promise you, if they've got an in-house biller, they're losing more money than you can expect. And I'm going to show that to you here in a moment, because we're seeing it on the front end on this whole denial stuff. They're just not getting paid. It's like sending an invoice that you just got through with doing something for somebody, building a house or building a deck or whatever you're doing out there, and all of a sudden you give in your invoice to somebody and you just don't get paid. You send them another one, or there's an error on it and only pay you a little bit of it, and then you fail to give them another invoice for the other balance of it. Doctors walk away from thousands of dollars just on this. I'm not going to belittle all of this, but again, this is something from one of their people there, their vice president of product. He says 1 in 4 denial originates in registration and eligibility. It's time to take a hard look at the dollars and time these denials represent and focus on denial prevention in this area. Last little quote here from somebody else, Bryce Bruner, Senior Director of Product Management and Analytics at Change Health. Again, when you look at the root cause of registration eligibility denials, most aren't straightforward denials. They are more nuanced, such as coordination of benefits and benefits maximum issues. Those types of denials are harder to quickly see if there's an issue. So it requires a bit more due diligence. Okay? Healthcare Business Management Association, HBMA, says it's not unusual to have a 35% or higher claim rejection, which requires extensive and expensive follow-up. The U.S. Government Accountability Office indicates that variations in application denial rates across insurances has occurred for several years, the rates ranging from 6% to over 30%. Okay, so I think I've laid a pretty good argument here that there is some problems with the doctors, and we've discovered where their pain point is, okay? So why would a doctor use you? Again, you look at the numbers here. You tell me. First of all, let's just look at the bottom number here, total cost of the practice. If you were a doctor, would you rather spend $95,000 or $54,000 in getting your claims billed? Because if they're doing it in-house, that's approximately what that it costs them, because they have to have full-time employees. On the other hand, if they outsource that same amount of claims to you, it would cost them almost half of what it costs them to have in-house billing. If you got a computer Take a screenshot of that so you'll have it in your files. So why would a doctor want to outsource? This is one. And then you add up all those claims that that in-house billing group couldn't do, that you're going to go after because you only get paid when the doctor gets paid. See, these folks here in the doctor's office are going to get paid whether the doctor gets paid or not. They're employees. They're full-time employees. You are an outsourced company. You're a contractor. You only get paid on what you bring in. Do you think you're going to let claims sit out there and never be filed again? So what is your return on your investment possibilities? What are your potentials? Well, first of all, some of you may be scratching your head again. What does ROI stand for? ROI stands for nothing more but return on your investment, which is I've got an investment that I'm investing and I want to get that back into my bank account as fast as I can. So let's talk about that. So you have an investment, you've got a return, and you want success. Success means that you've got all of your money back into your bank, okay? So with American Business Systems, our investment, there's a one-time investment. We don't ask you for franchise fees. We don't ask you for royalty fees. You don't pay American Business Systems another dime, even if we bring in more services. Our investment is a one-time fee of $30,000. So in a moment, we're going to figure out how we're going to get that $30,000 from your investment back into your pocket. And we're going to show that to you. So what you're looking for is a return. What is that return going to look like in your first year? It can be anywhere from $30,000 to $39,000 in your first year. Okay? We think that we can accomplish that, but I think I'm going to show you something even better. Because I like to look at success. And success to me is not only getting my return on my investment, but being profitable the first year. Because with one doctor, I'm going to show you here in just a moment, that you can make anywhere from $35,000 to up to $65,000 with one doctor. Okay? So let's get to this next slide. And you may have to blow this up just a little bit, but I think I might be able to take this out and open up a, I thought I might be able to open this up for us. So let me do that for us real quickly so you can see this. Because we're going to do this in real time. I like to do things in real time. I love screenshots. Screenshots are great, but you know what? Sometimes it's just best just to do it live. Okay, so we're going to go, I'm going to American Business Systems. I'm going to our income calculator. And I'm going to pull this up. So give me just a second. I'm going to switch screens here up here just a little bit. So let me get over to my Zoom. No, I don't want to do that. Click that out of there. I'm going to stop sharing that. Now I'm going to share my here. Okay. So let's start off. Remember my number, I said you can be $35,000 to $65,000 in your first year. Now, what you'll need to do is go to americanbusinesssystems.com/income-calculator. What you can do is you can, if you'll get to ABS, go all the way down, scroll all the way down to the bottom of the page there on our first page there. You'll see in the little bitty menu items down there, it says income calculator, and you're going to land right here. Okay. First of all, we're going to look at the billing rate. Okay. Billing rate is what you're going to charge the doctor, the percentage of what you're going to charge the doctor. You can see here it can be anywhere from 4 to 8%. Now we're going to be really, really, really conservative here. Okay. Real conservative. 6% is we're just splitting the difference. Okay. That's all we're doing. We're splitting the difference. Some of you may be asking, well, why would I charge 4% versus 8%? That's not today's lesson. It's not today's webinar, but we're going to talk a little bit about that a little bit. Average claim amount. The average claim amount that you go see a doctor and they go bill that claim is roughly about $150. But what we're going to do, we're just going to take it to $125. Okay. We're just going to be, again, very, very conservative. Now, when you go to the doctor, and let's split this up in morning visits and afternoon visits. Let's say that that doctor sees in the morning when he or she's pretty nice and fresh. They open up at 8:30, 9 o'clock, and let's say they're going to see patients between that time and noon because they want to take at least some time off for lunch. Okay. So let's think, let's see. I don't know. Whenever I go to the doctor, it feels like there's 20 people in that office already. But we know some of those are patients and their families. So let's say that the doctor sees at least 12 patients in the morning. And let's say that they, in the afternoon, get in another 12, 13. So that's going to be 12, that's 24. Let's round it up to 25 patients in a day, which would be a very light day. If you go ask any doctor, they're probably seeing around, close to, I don't know, 30, 35 patients in a day. You can see right there, on the cusp of all these things. Oh, I put 15. I meant to put 25. 25 patients a day, billing at 6% at $125 per person. That comes out to $48,750 of your potential income. Okay? That's not bad. Okay? Let's change this up to where I know that what I hear from our business people that are here. And I'm actually going to kick that up. But still, I'm going to stay conservative. I don't know why that big old string is there. But let's just take that number right there. It could be $82,000 with one doctor. Could be. But you might say, Eric, I don't know. I kind of let's just bring this down a little bit, Eric. This is making me kind of nervous. Let's just get it back down to these numbers where, okay, so now we're building at 5% at 150. I mean, you can go in there and change these numbers up yourself. Make them up whatever you want to do. So there's 5% at 100 with 25, 32,500. You've already got your investment back. That's what I'm saying. With one doctor within 1 year, we can help you get your return on investment. So you can find that on our website. You can go out there anytime. Just go out there and go look for it. You can find it out there. So let's get back to our screen sharing on the PowerPoint here. Okay, so everybody fine with that? So again, let's just take a look at that again. We're going to take a look at it. You're saying, well, Eric, is there some magic tricks behind there? This is so easy. It's such an easy math. One doctor will see about 25 patients a day, seeing each one of those are valued at $150. So per day, on a per day basis, the doctor's trying to bring in at least $37.50 a day. Now, listen, when you finally get into doing this kind of billing thing, you're going to be a great consultant to the doctors, because one of the questions you might be asking, doctor, are you at least clearing $37.50 a day? I don't think they've ever been asked that question. That's what you need to be asking that doctor. Then, for you, if you're billing at $37.50 a day times 7%, you're making $262.50 a day, and it's going to take you a whopping 2 hours to do that. Okay, so do the math there. Figure out how much you're making right now. Again, you kind of do the math. So you take that $262.50 a day times 5 days a week. That's $1312.50 a week times 52 weeks, $68,500 a week or year. So that's what your potential earnings are. So what you've done within your first year with that doctor, you have cleared your investment and you've made another $30,000 on top of that without paying any franchise fees, any royalty fees, or any more money to American Business Systems. Okay? But on average, most of our business owners here are billing for at least 3 doctors. So all you got to do is take those 3 doctors and triple that. That means that potentially working about 6 to 7 hours a day, they're making about $204,000 a year. And folks, we're not blowing up these numbers. You can go do that, all the calculations yourself, because we brought you here today to say, what business can see an ROI in their first year. And that's what you're seeing here. And I know what the thoughts are, well, how do I get that first doctor? Well, that's the Wednesday next webinar. We're going to talk about how to get that first doctor and how we're going to help you get that first doctor, because we want you to make this kind of money, because we want you to get your investment back. But you're going to have multiple income streams as well. You got the iClean EMRX. That's the one that we just are dealing with right there. But then we have Audit Guard and CodeWrite, which are coding solutions. For those that want to do dental billing, we've got a dental billing solution. We have some ways that the doctors can collect on old or accounts receivables. That would be AR. We've got some marketing campaigns that the doctors can utilize through AutoCard. For doctors that need HIPAA compliancy, we've got that. We also have virtual care, which is a whole set of another way that you can make money. But just real quickly, Quick Collect and auto is just a matter of how we help that doctor collect on some of their money. Instead of sending patients to a collection agency, which is devastating for a patient and doctor relationship, we have a completely different setup through Quick Collect. AutoCard is a way that we can help the doctor set up reminders for their patients and send out actually greeting cards and not email campaigns. Who wants to see another email in their email box that they just have to delete or get rid of? These are actual cards that are being sent to the doctor from the doctor's office to their patients automatically to remind them of their annual wellness visits, their other visits that might be coming up for OBGYN people, all the things that they for reminders for that. So then we've got Audit Guard, which is a coding part of it, where if the doctors have ever been under an audit, which could be a Medicare audit, it could be a Cigna audit, Aetna audit. Because what they mean is that what they would do, they would call up that doctor's office or send them a letter and say, hey, we're just going to check and make sure that you're billing us correctly. Starting to see a lot of high coding happening here. We're going to see if we need to claw back any money. So listen, audits happen like that all the time. Audit Guard, what that does, you can literally go in there and help those doctors find out if they are not doing some things right. And you don't have to know anything about coding, because our professional coders will actually do the audits for the doctors and give them a huge report. And then for doctors that actually need coding, real coding, like what you're probably afraid of, we have that part of our solution here as well. We have CodeWrite. So we have licensed certified professional coders that will look through every doctor's code, make sure that they're coding correctly. We can help them with their hardest codes that they ever might need. So now we're already down at the bottom of the hour. I'm not ready to shut this thing down. What I want to do is kind of bridge in a little bit, because again, this whole app, this sounds great, Eric, but again, I got to get that first doctor. So if you recall from last week, I did a webinar with Dr. Vicki Rackner. Dr. Rackner said, we got to find the doctor's pain point. Well, one of the ways that obviously we've addressed that here today. We already kind of know what the doctor's pain point is, but we got to get this information into their hands. And one of the things that we have at your disposal for you to help to get that information out to a doctor is that you're going to partner with Dr. Vicki Rackner with this book called The New Thriving Medical Practice. Okay. And what I mean by that partnering with you is that not only do you see Patrick Phillips' name on the book and Dr. Vicki Rackner's name on the book, but your name is actually on the book as well. You can see that here, that you've written the foreword to the book. And that's so important for you as someone that's just getting started here. So let's just say that you've gone through the training, you got your certification, now you're part of Burma, you're ready to go out there and start, again, this ugly word out there called marketing your business. And I'm going to talk with you a little bit about what marketing looks like next week. It's not that difficult and it's not that hard. But listen, what you're going to want to do is take this book, and we're going to show you and to highlight some certain areas of that book that are going to explain some of these issues that we just talked about today. Why are these doctors losing so much money? And then some of this information, if you want that to show the doctor, we can help you with that as well. But not only that, Adam, again, has written that book. And again, with Dr. Vicki Rackner, 9 Ways Doctors Let Money Slip Through Their Fingers. This is a little bit smaller book. And instead of having your name on the front of it, there's a sticker on there that says just compliments of your medical billing company. And we've got some other ones there that you can customize for you to have that in your suite of marketing material. So we're not going to just show you how to get some really fancy business cards that's going to make somebody go up there and go, oh, I'm going to go into get the business with so and so because they got great business cards. No, the reason they're going to get in business with you is because you're bringing value to them before you even start doing business with them.